After a week of playing with the new Speedroid support, I finally hit Platinum 1. It was an insane journey. I had a lot of fun. Even if I was playing against Drytron or Eldritch, it was pretty fun when I got to beat them. Or when I was going against Eldritch, I would top deck a Harpy's Feather Duster and I'd just win and they'd scoop. It'd be really, really fun. Or I was going against Drytron and had the good amount of hand traps to stop them and, you know, OTK them. That was pretty good too. So let me show you my match history and then we'll get into the deck profile, because I think talking about the you know, matches is just way more important than the actual deck list, because I feel like the deck list is pretty standard. It's pretty straightforward. Probably some minor changes between, you know, my current list and the list I posted a few days ago, but yeah. So the first duel I think I was going against, or the last duel I played, was Cyber Dragon. So yeah, I almost got sacked by this Cyber Dragon player. He had like a super insane combo. I think he had like Hertz plus machine duplication. That was pretty like insane. So I almost got sacked by that, but thankfully we kind of clutched it out. The next duel I think I went against, oh yeah, it was this burn deck. I don't know why Konami decided to like let this burn deck go through. Some other duels I played like a lot of other duels. I think I played against, I think this was the Ancient Warrior deck I was playing against. Yeah, I almost lost to this deck. Oh my god, this deck, scary deck. But yeah, we clutched it through. We almost got OTK'd, but we had the compulse to kind of stop ourselves from getting OTK'd, so that was pretty good. What did I lose to? I think I lost something very stupid. I think this is True Draco, right? Yeah, I lost to True Draco, like, of course, like the Floodgate deck. Yeah, right. Like, look at all these one-of Floodgates. Anti-Spell, the 2-up Skill Drain, the 1 summon limit. Like, I don't even remember what he had. I think he had, like, a Monarch's Erupt, and then out the Monarch's Erupt. And then he had, like, a second one, and I was like, man, I'm out of this game. I'm just quitting. The next duel I lost, let me look at this one. I think I lost to something stupid too. Oh, Adamant's. So with this one, I like Veilered his normal summon. I Veilered like an Analyzer, and he passed his turn, but I also bricked, so that was bad. So yeah, I stopped him, but then yeah, he just played next turn. I was like, man, I can't with this game. This game is so stupid. So like the moral of the story is, like, even though my deck was like pretty consistent, there was like a couple of times where I did brick. Like I drew like multiple hand traps and no engine cards, and realistically you only need like one normal summon. You only need like a normal summon, maybe like an extender, maybe, and then the other like 4 cards in your hand can be, you know, hand traps, or other 3 cards can be hand traps. So it's not that big of an issue, but that could be something you can have in the back of your mind. Maybe you want to play less hand traps than me. I lost the Tri-Brigade Leerless. How did I lose? I think he had like an insane board. I think he had like the Robin plus Apex Avion and the Sovereignty, and he had something else. I think he had like a hand trap or something. I think he had like Revolt or something like that. And I lost. It was just not enough to play through. I think I went on a losing streak. This is when I stopped playing, because as you see the dates, it was like April 7th. I lost 3 times. I'm like, nah, I'm done. Yeah, Numeron is actually probably the worst matchup for Speedroids. I'm not even kidding. Like, unless you have like Ghost Ogre to hit the Numeron call, or not the Numeron call, the Numeron network, like, you're actually just losing. This deck OTKs you through any board you make. Any board you can make, OTK. It just does not make sense. And this guy has a Prisma Ash. Wow. I mean, not a Prisma. It's called World Finish. But what is this other one? I played against Blue Eyes. Oh my god, I got so sacked here. I got so sacked. He had the Nightmare Iblis, so I couldn't Nibiru him. I had a Nibiru in my hand, and I couldn't Nibiru him because I can only summon Link monsters on my field. So I was locked into Link monsters. I had Nibiru in hand, and I went first, and he kaiju'd my Crystal Wing or something like that. and then he lightning stormed like my back row, and I think I had like two compulses and like a call by the grave or something like that, or like an imperm. It was like super crazy. Like he had an insane hand, and I just got OTK'd like outright. And then I think the last duel I lost, let me see, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, it was another Numeron. This matchup is like you have to go first, or you have to go second against this deck. Like that's the only way you beat the Numeron deck, is if you go second. Like you cannot beat that deck. So it was pretty straightforward. Like I lost like a couple of duels. Overall, I did pretty well. You know, if it was Numeron or it didn't like brick, because a lot of these duels I did brick. Like all three of these duels, I'm pretty sure I bricked. I'm pretty sure. Or I got completely sacked. Like that's the only thing that is wrong with Speedroids, is that like if you go against like an OTK deck, like they will break through your board. But if you play against like Tri Brigade or even something like Adamanticators or any of the other combo decks, like if you have enough hand traps, you have a chance to beat them. Like if you have Maxi Ash or Maxi into Nibiru plus Imperm and all the other stuff, like you could beat a lot of these top tier decks, especially because you have these one card starters, and a lot of people don't know how to interrupt Speedroids. Like they interrupt the normal summon, obviously, and that could be a choke point, but if you have an extender, you could pretty much play through that and do your whole combo anyway. So the deck is like pretty strong. So let's get into the deck profile. I'll talk about, you know, a lot of, you know, stuff. So let's get into that. All right, so here is the profile. I'm pretty sure this is the same as the first deck profile I kind of posted. I think I had cross out over something. I think I had like one impermanence and like, you know, triple Nibiru, you know, triple Ash, Maxi. I think I had a Veiler in here as well. So it's changed up a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure. It could be like the same list and I'm just, you know, speaking out my ass, but this is pretty much the same deck list. Like this is pretty solid. I think the biggest change I'd probably make to this deck is probably playing like maybe minus like a duplicate or something like that for a Speedroid Scratch. But even then, like Speedroid Duplicate is so good. So maybe cut one of the hand traps maybe. But even then, it's like, it's hard to say, but probably like one more consistency card would be pretty strong for this deck, because I did brick like an alarming amount, not too alarming, but it was like alarming amount to maybe consider another starter in the deck. So do keep that in mind. Maybe like cut the duplicate to 2, maybe play like a Speed Scratch as I said before. That could be pretty good. I didn't miss the speed recovery. It's not that good. I know a lot of people just like that card a lot, and it does work in some builds, but in a build that has like a lot of hand traps or like a lot of staple cards, like it just does not work. It just really does not work, especially Speedroid Scratch. It doesn't work because you draw a bunch of hands, as I said in the previous video. You draw a bunch of hands with a lot of staple cards and no Speedroid to discard off the Scratch. So it only works in more of a Speedroid heavy build, if that makes sense. Is there anything else I missed? Like some duels I did miss the second Din Daiku Duke, but it's so bad to draw unless you have like a Speedroid Will to discard it, or like you normal summon it out of your hand, then that could be pretty decent. But overall, like I didn't really miss like anything else. There's not many cards to play in this deck. Horse, not really. This card I think I considered like once in TCG. It wasn't that good. And I know this card, the Fuki card, this card is pretty decent. It lets you add like a Maxi from your deck, or Ash Blossom, or you know, whatever you reveal off the top of your deck is pretty good. So this card is pretty decent. Maybe you could play this over a the third duplicate. But yeah, that's the only things I could really consider. Like I consider like a Speedroid Scratch maybe for a starter, or maybe the Fuki to like add like a Maxi, or you know, an Ash Blossom or any staple card to kind of interrupt my opponent, besides having like a double Crystal Wing, because obviously double Crystal Wing is really good if you're playing against a combo deck. But if you're playing against Outlich, you know, you need stuff like Duplicate to, you know, out the floodgates. You need like Harpy's Feather Duster to out the floodgates. You know, you need Ash to stop the Sanguine and stuff like that. So Also, even Imperm can even work against something like Skill Drain to negate the effect for a turn. So, getting to those stable cards are like pretty decent with the Fuki card. So, these are like the two cards I considered playing. Even like the extra deck, I think the extra deck, I don't think I missed anything from the extra deck. This extra deck was like super solid. The third Crystal Wing came up so many times. Like I'd get my board broken like pretty consistently. And I would go into the third Crystal Wing, and I don't think they expected the third Crystal Wing. And I just op their whole entire board, and then have a Crystal Wing on top of everything. And maybe even the trap card, because I use the second Cork Shooter. Because the Cork Shooter comes up, because there'll be times where you have, like you would have like a Yo-Yo in your hand next turn. Or you have like a Hound, you can normal summon it, send the Chalk card, then the Chalk card uses effect. Lower it to level 2, and then, you know, go into the Cork Shooter, and then you maybe have like a Hagota in the graveyard, so Hagota would bring it itself back after you add the duplicate trap card. So now you have a trap card, and then you go into your third Crystal Wing, and now you have Crystal Wing plus the duplicate to combat your opponent for the next turn if you don't kill him that turn. So it's pretty good to have the second Cork Shooter and the third Crystal Wing as well. I really like the Wing Pegasus Ad Ignister, because a lot of people forget this card's graveyard effect. They try to destroy my Baron, and then I use the effect, spin a card, or they destroy my Link Monster, which is the Rubber Band Shooter, and, you know, they'll get their card bounce, which is pretty good. The second Rubber Band Shooter also came up a lot. They would like out my Rubber Band Shooter. They'd probably like use an effect to compulse it. Like the Ancient Warrior guy, I think he like compulsed my Rubber Band Shooter to the extra deck, and then I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna make a second one, and I full comboed in, and I OTK them, so that was pretty good. The Curling Fast Dragon, this is the only card that's like you could kind of switch out for another level 7, but like this card it's pretty decent. It lets you negate a face-up monster on from the extra deck, so this card is like really strong. But I mainly banished this card off the effect of the Rubber Band Shooter, so it's not really important. I like the Wing Pegasus Ad Ignister because it can out spell and trap cards with its effect, and you don't really have access to that besides the Kite Drake. Kite Drake is insane going second. There's multiple times where my opponent would like destroy it, I'd get a Surge, or like they didn't know what the effect does, and their whole board gets wiped, and they scoop. Like this card is insane. It's insanity. Modern Marcher obviously is really good for the one card combos. The Chambara obviously insane for OTKs, you know, Hagota for making double Crystal Wing and stuff like that. Starter Charge Warrior, really good to draw into like hand traps and stuff like that. So this was insane. I think I banished it a couple of times to search for like one of the extenders, like the Card Trouble or the Takatomborg. So that was really good. I think like this extra deck is it's just so solid. I don't think anything needs to be changed at all. Maybe I think the biggest thing you could probably change is I wouldn't even consider cutting any of these cards because they're all pretty important. Like the second Rubber Band Shooter comes up quite often. The second Cork Shooter comes up quite often. The third Crystal Wing comes up a lot. Like there's no other like better Synchro monster you would make that's a win Synchro other than Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So I think like this card is like really good. The only other cards I would consider maybe, and this is like a super big maybe. This is like leaning towards no, but the high speed word Clearwing Rider. This card is like pretty decent, especially for the Synchro event, because the Clearwing Synchro Dragon, I think is what it's called, the Clearwing, the other Crystal Wing card, the level 7 one. That card is like really strong to special summon alongside with this card, which is like super solid. So I think like this card is like something you can consider for the Synchro event, but besides the Synchro event, I don't think you should play this definitely at all. But like for the Synchro event, you should definitely play this card as well as the Clearwing Synchro Dragon, because you can cut like basically cut these two cards and it's like the same exact list. You can play the same exact list, like cut some of these like cards. Like you probably don't need a second right-handed dice. You probably need everything else probably. And like the Heartbeat Featherless, maybe you can consider cutting it because there's not going to be many back row decks. There's probably like a lot of Synchro spam decks, like the Junk Speeder deck, like the Adamantipator deck. So there's so many different other, you know, synchro decks that are just going to be spamming the board, and you just want to have cards like Maxi. I think like double or triple Valor is probably better than, you know, triple Ash, if that's crazy enough, because negating the effects of the Adamantipator cards as well as the Junk Speeder could be like super key. And like ashing like an Adamantipator card, not really that strong, but especially like the Junk Speeder thing, because there's a lot of times where they can like chain block and you cannot ash the Junk Speeder. So I think Valor's like probably better for the event. I think the impermanent, the imperm is going to be super good. I think this card is going to be insane for the event. I think summoning this card turn 1 or even like after that, if they survive, like summoning this card could be like game changing. You could pretty much win the game off of this, because you get like the 2 synchro monsters, as well as like this card being able to destroy cards on the field, you know, going second. So this card could be pretty solid. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see some of the replays that I've acquired from playing in the platinum rank, let me know in the comment section below, because I can always, you know, cook up some replays to show you how to play the deck and stuff like that. Or if you want to see the deck list or the, you know, replays of the Synchro Festival event, just tell me in the comment section below as well. I'll be playing in the event. I'll be, you know, cooking up some good deck lists. Probably is going to be the same deck list. Probably, you know, the few changes that I talk about in this video are going to, you know, happen. But for the most part, this list is not going to change all too well. Maybe I'm going to try out the Fuki card as well as the Speedroid Scrap, because that card is like a lot better in this format. Just being able to get to the Terra Top is going to be insane. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see those videos, leave it in the comment section below. Again, I want to know some feedback from you guys, because, you know, I get all of my ideas pretty much from you guys in the comment section. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.